This is the Tree of Life, Season 30, Chapter 9. In this episode, we will be talking about interwoven artifacts of sublimation and the creation of narrative. In this season, we have talked about how consensus shifts are caused by sublimation and verbalization leading to infinite recursion. In past episodes, we talked about how any meaning, such as written or spoken word, represents a distinct artifact of sublimation capable of animating the tautological flow. In this case, the writer becomes the leader, the incoming consciousness for the second, the first reader, and so on and so forth. It can also be said that each individual artifact of sublimation can be interconnected with others. Just as analog structures, during degeneration, form substitutionary relationships between two sets or impulses. But analog structures are not exclusionary except once they are transformed into digital structures through degeneration. Which means that once an artifact of sublimation fully degenerates, it is enmeshed with exclusive word associations and linked as a narrative fabric to all the associated terms. That is to say, not every artifact can be reduced beyond a single structure, which means for longer sequences of sublimation a greater number of structures are required to capture the meaning. Now, in every exchange between two or more people there are 9 impulses represented by the 9 consciousness receptors, the 5 spatial plates, and 4 higher plates. If these are reverse substitution events, then these 9 impulses are animated by the tautological flow through each receptor. This means that you must imagine that all subjects in a particular tautological string are flowing into the subject as he completes the narratives of expression. Each of these narratives produces emotional coupling, common tension release, through mirroring according to its action with others linearly along its path. Likewise, artifacts of sublimation can degenerate over longer periods, impacting the usual phase of the bodily rhythms or cycles of the sublimator, and hence their behavior. This means, for example, that the degeneration of an artifact of sublimation, both for the sublimator and through the tautological flow, within those part of the tautological string, the first reader, and so on and so forth, impact the larger behavior of all linked subjects. Furthermore, narrative, produced through sublimation, affirms a specific series of impulses for the reader, while negating others. Although the negation within the artifact degenerates, it remains capable of producing secondary and tertiary infinite recursion, ad infinitum. The point of all of this is that narrative, which permits the tautological flow, can cause repercussions worldwide not only through the tautological flow, in affirmation, but also in negation, as the narrative degenerates. This may produce larger shifts in the behavior of linked individuals both through their bodily rhythms or cycles, or directly through affirmation of particular impulses. In the complete series, we talked about how myths and stories tend to cycle endlessly through history amidst the esoteric, symbolic and archetypal plate. That is, the same patterns of behavior, the same archetypal figures, appear again and again throughout history, repeating the same stories again and again. Since narrative is preserved within the digital structures created by degeneration, within the artifact of sublimation as consensus, it is possible to see that sublimation is not a new creation each time, but rather is accretive to the historical direction created by past narratives. Finally, it may be possible to change the direction of consensus through repetitious sublimation and tautological infinite recursion, but each new iteration merely replicates the swirling whole comprising the narratives echoing through history again and again. That's the end of the podcast for today.